Be a regulatory compliance officer. Are you getting tired of your old job that you've been employed for the last decade? Are you looking for a more relaxed but highly rewarding job? Well, being a regulatory compliance officer might just be the right job for you. In a nutshell, a regulatory compliance officer takes care of identifying laws and statutes, government rules and regulations, company standards and policies, codes of conduct, and financial plans, depending on what industry you're engaged in, and making sure that these are complied with. Some people interchange the concept of regulatory compliance officers with that of internal auditors. However, there is a big difference between the two. Regulatory compliance officers are more proactive than internal auditors in a sense that their job is more preventive than remedial. Compliance officers identify specific issues within a company and correct these issues before an internal auditor checks them. Instead of an act being fait accompli upon examination, they are rectified before they can be included in the final report. So how do you become one? Have the necessary qualifications. The qualifications differ depending on the kind of industry. If you want to become a regulatory compliance officer in a bank, for example, you may need to have the required experience in financial and/or legal matters. In some industries, they even require you to be a lawyer. But at the end of the day, whatever industry you want to engage yourself in, you must, at the very least, be able to think on your feet and be cautious on details, as you'll be racing against time and against auditing agencies. Get the necessary certification. There are some states that require you to be certified by a government agency before you can be employed as regulatory compliance officer. Check at your state laws whether you have to be certified or not. If you have to be certified, make sure to get the necessary certification, as some states even provide sanctions for non-compliance with such certification rules. Surely, you wouldn't want to be penalized for not have complied with such simple certification rules. Prepare impressive curriculum vitae, CV, or resume. Remember to always put your best foot forward, that is, include past work experiences related to being a compliance officer and qualifications as stated above. But don't overdo it, and always be honest with your qualifications. Never underestimate the capabilities and resourcefulness of prospective employers or human resource personnel in ascertaining the veracity of the contents of your CV or resume. If you put false, exaggerated information about yourself, most probably you'll end up not getting the job. It would also be helpful if you do your homework, make some research on what an employer looks for, and what the employer's business is about. This would come in handy when you get interviewed. Keep abreast of laws, regulations, and/or policies. Being a regulatory compliance officer requires you to know the latest laws, regulations, and policies. How will you be able to assess and report on compliance requirements if you do not know what things should be complied with?